Birth is an Illusion, 29th December, 1979. Because of the gas in the lighter, there is light. Similarly, in the body, if there is foodstuff, there is beingness. And because of beingness, there is knowingness. Man becomes happy with his activities depending on the state he is in. The highly evolved person comes here. I tell him nothing can happen to you, just forget the concepts. That is enough for him. For others, those not highly evolved, there is a different remedy. It is like you go to a doctor who charges 125 rupees. By paying that amount, you are half cured. The remaining is done by the medicine. But if the doctor is cheaply available, even with the same medicine, you have no faith in him. Can you teach me miracles? After coming here, you now know how beingness has appeared. This knowledge you have. Yes. On what does it depend? On the beingness only. If you know on what it depends, you have transcended death. What is the proof of your beingness or your existence? You now know it, that knowledge you must have. If you have such knowledge, you can transcend. I can only take you up to a certain limit. Beyond that, you have to manage on your own. Have we to search or understand? Do whatever you like, understand or go in search of it. If one is certain, one experiences, then it is knowledge. Yes, that's all. Knowledge of oneself, your beingness depends on something. On what? Sattva, food body. No need to tell, you just understand. When you get the knowledge, you lose I am the body idea. You then experience death while living, and nobody can afford that. Birth is of the three states: waking, sleep, and beingness. I am not these three. That is knowledge. Were these three states there prior to birth? One day waking, sleep, and beingness would go. Will you then experience death? Depends on where our experience stands vis-a-vis the jhani. Still, you must be sure that you are not waking, sleep, and beingness. When you say I am, it includes waking, sleep, and beingness. The I am knowledge includes these. If you remove this component, all will go. All appear and disappear together. If somebody is utterly frustrated and can't take the beingness anymore, then he is welcome. If you can still sustain it, then don't come here. If any state continues for long, you can't afford it. So there is the cycle of different states. Prior to birth, there is no waking, sleeping, or the beingness. The knowledge I am, these three are born and are dependent on the food essence. When this essence becomes weak, the three states depart. Who is born or dies? In the absence of the three states, did you know God? Did you know that you existed? In India, donations, food, clothes, etc., are given to Brahmins after somebody's death. Is it going to reach the person gone in absence of waking, sleep, and beingness? It is only a concept that the soul is thirsty or hungry, but in the absence of vital breath, could that be possible? As a result, the food quintessence, sattva, and the three states appear. When the sattva is exhausted, the three states disappear. Then where is the soul? What came to me and talked to me? People who have self-knowledge don't appear. If self-knowledge is not strong enough, then they appear. If they learn along the line, then they don't appear? Why have you come here? You had self-knowledge in the womb. Why come here? If one is stuck and suffering, then one comes here. I trust you. How do trust and faith come? When I was alone in the mountains, it was like a radar. Not this, not this. Translator: did you see this form? In a sense. Translator: did you have his photo? Did you meditate with the photo? Yes. Birds come and sit on the shoulder of the one who has siddhi powers. The poet writes according to his imagination, and what he writes happens, right? Is birth real or false? False. Be sure about it. You'll be free when this becomes clear. No birth, no doubts. When you know that birth itself is an illusion, only then are you liberated, not before that. General knowledge or concepts envelop you. It's difficult to get rid of concepts. They, the dead, were convinced that the body is real, so they come around. By staying in this knowledge, I am, you can dissolve the subtle body. The pill, the three states, waking, sleep, and beingness, dissolves. Then there is no coming. Till then, the subtle body will remain. So long as the food essence is there, the I am knowledge is there. Once the essence is exhausted, knowingness goes. Falseness begins with your parents. 30th December, 1979. Ultimately, you are responsible for your form. Because of your beingness, you are the sufferer. In ignorance, you are told, worship God and so on. In the knowledgeable state, you know yourself, so there is no need. You don't like my talks, you take yourself to be a man and this or that, so you feel justified. So long as there is the I am the body concept, there can be no realization. Transcend. Become a seeker. But those who follow spiritual ideas and still take their body to be real, they are reborn. In the first stage, get convinced that you are not the body. Because of sattva, sleep, waking, and beingness appear. But when you come to know that you are not there, then what? If you don't take into consideration your parents, will you be able to find yourself? Our parents are the capital from which we find ourselves. You have to realize that the states sleep, waking, and beingness start with parents. You must realize your falseness begins with your parents. For the appearance of your form, what did your parents donate or contribute? This is not to be said, just known. Your parents contributed something for your form to appear. They contributed a part of the body, so the form appeared. All people are a picture of the bliss their parents enjoyed. We serve our knowledge. We do everything for that only. All activities are done by the knowledge. I am. The Ganges flows from Lord Shankara's head. Ganges is knowledge through the 5 sense organs. Brahma is depicted with 4 heads. These represent the 4 types of speech. Para, source word. Pashyanti, intangible word. Mariyama, tangible word or thought. Vikhari, spoken word. For instance, you compose poems from within Para and Pashyanti. They rise to the mind, Madhyama, and then you recite them, Vikhari. I can't give you knowledge to make a living, but it can help you rise up in the world. People whose mind is still, without any words for them, self-knowledge will be easier. If after listening to my talks your mind is still active, then self-knowledge is far off. You may sit quietly, but if your mind goes on wandering here and there, that would indicate that you are not fit enough to have self-knowledge. The mind must be absolutely still or quiet, no thoughts at all. Paul's Redemption, 31st December, 1979. Think only about that which is going to give you company for a long time. What was my face before conception? From all your experiences, will any experience be eternally with you? At present, all experiences are in consciousness. I'm trying to go beyond experience, beyond consciousness. This body will go, vital breath gone, mind gone, So how will I look? The way as I was before birth. The worldly experiences, what will happen to them? They will go with the body. Ultimately, body and experience is gone, then what will you be like? It is a thing in itself. When the body is not experienced and day and night is not there, no. When there is no experience of day and night and no beingness either, what have you attained? Nothing. What is the result of achievements, experiences? Dissolved like money. Whatever appears eventually disappears. Who is its parent? On what does it depend? On body, and body depends on beingness, and beingness depends on beingness. So there is no consciousness, no words to describe. Yes. So who is established in this knowledge? How will he act? Different persons will act in different ways according to nature. Maharaj is Nisarga, more developed, more natural. What is the difference between beingness and mind? One who is asking is mind or beingness. Who are you? My mind is asking. Who says so? Mind. Without beingness, who will say mind? What is the difference between mind and consciousness? You are the knower of the mind and consciousness. That is you. You are not the mind. In deep sleep and samadhi, mind is not there. You are still there. Yes, that entity which is throughout there is you. Without taking male or female into consideration, can you describe? No. If you are that, then do you need anything? I have everything. Then? I am it, not I have it. If you are the Absolute and there is no consciousness, then what do you need? Nothing. Existence of I, consciousness, will be absent. Do you know that? I know it, theoretically. Whatever worldly experience you have, is it eternal? No. Waking and sleep states, will they be eternal? No, they have nothing to do with the Absolute. What is the ultimate gain of spiritual experiences? Consciousness will disappear and you will not know that you are. No profit, no question. Beingness and whatever you see because of it is an illusion, isn't it? I won't remain. Anything created will be gone, destroyed. Once you know that beingness and the experience of the world are an illusion and untruth, how will you act? Although the world appears to be true, is it true? I know this by the mind, but no physical experience. The mind, will it be eternally with you? No. Don't answer, but how to act is for you to decide. One who is established in beingness loses interest in the world, has no desires and cravings. How does it happen? As to how this happens, you have already answered. So long as you consider yourself a human being with a body, there will be desires. But if you take yourself to be the knower of everything, behind me are so many experiences. I must first get rid of them. Who has accumulated them? That entity which thinks itself to be an independent package of energy in the past. Do you have any experience of this birth? No. Then from knowledge? Yes. Beingness acts, considering itself as a body, but beingness is not the body. It too is temporary. When the entity was not there, were there any requirements? When I am not well, I take medicines. Do I depend on medicine for existence? That thing, beingness, which depends on medicine and food, what is its use? My beingness depends on medicine, and medicine taken becomes the soul. Every person depends for existence on life. In the absence of need for life, What is going to happen to the man who depends for his very existence on food medicine? What can God do for him? Medicine and food become the body. What need has he for the body? In the absence of beingness, nothing is of any use. Another visitor. After acquiring this knowledge, will you be going ahead with your activities? Yes. These activities, as a result of what do they happen, and whose are they? The jnani lives out of all encounters. He eats when hungry, sleeps when sleepy, and so on. What is the ultimate? Just as in a dream, no conscious effort is made. Similarly, the jnani acts as if this world is a dream. You can see with a telescope, but the seer and the telescope are different. One who sees is different. The jnani witnesses the beingness. What is the telescope for the jnani? You have the jnani, the world, and the telescope. The telescope for the jnani is the beingness. That beingness is the product of the food essence. What about pain? Should I have had pain? Yet my experience was not of pain, but of bliss. I have an ankle problem, but I had no pain. I felt like a cloud around that ankle. Pain in the world is like pain in the dream, says Ramana Maharshi. How the I consciousness appeared. Find out. Sri Ramana Maharshi's answer is that the world is a dream. The whole world is in a drop of food essence, sattva. Beingness depends on food, and food is an illusion. You have knowledge and the experience of the world. Why you have it, you now know. Yes, this world appears old. What is the reason of this miraculous appearance? What appears in a dream? Wake up! This knowledge that sattva, the quintessence of food, is responsible for the world. Yes, this food essence may be new, but the world in it appears to be old. Is it not miraculous? Food essence is new, but the world appears old. The jnani gives no importance to pain even though he experiences it. Yes, you may live for 5 years, but in 5 years the world in you is a world of 4 ages. Is it not miraculous? Scores of years of the world you experience in a short lifespan. Now, who is false, you or the world? Both. When you act in the world, don't forget this. Yes. From your experience, what is the value of the world and you? Nothing. So when you know and then act, people will say you are Brahma, Krishna, or Muhammad. That doesn't change anything. You have no entity to change. The jnani has experiences, but attaches no importance to them, whereas we have responsibilities. How to draw a line between responsibilities and non-responsibilities. Don't have firm rules regulating as to what is to be done or not done. That is bondage. In relation to duties, we will have no problems. Who is doing the duties? You talk about activities. Say a snake of rubber bit somebody. He got poisoned. He did all the activities to get rid of the poison. But what is the use of such activities? Despite the medicines, the poison did not reduce. Whatever you do, your conviction about this knowledge should not dissolve. Those who come here, they have no more birth. This is their last birth. Agreed, Paul? I agree. I like that. A Village Without Day or Night, 1st January, 1980. Everyone's perspective is different. You cannot see what I see. So the best is to give attention to the beingness or I am. Although you look at beingness, you are not in it. You are outside it. Through it you can describe the world. But the seer, the one who sees, is beyond. Words are within consciousness. They cannot describe the knower. Your beingness, too, is temporary. It too is a concept. With this telescope, beingness, you can see. The one who sees is different from the telescope. You cannot see the seer with it. All words are within beingness. I am the knower of beingness. I blame no one in the world. People are poor, but the poorest are the rich. They want more and more. So long as you consider yourself within beingness, you'll have needs. The knower of beingness will not need anything. How to attain the first glimpse of the establishment by knowledge. That knowledge which depends on intellect is not knowledge at all. Knowledge which I give is eternal. The knowledge of the world is to till the world. When we say 1 is 30, we count time from the moment beingness has appeared. It is not your time. So life is the duration of beingness. Prior to the appearance of beingness, you were there. With beingness come birth and death. But you are eternally there. You experience day and night because of beingness. Prior to it, you are complete, not needing both. When a palmist predicts your lifespan, he predicts the age of beingness, not yours. You were there prior to beingness. You are that eternal principle which witnesses everything. But because you consider yourself a person, you suffer anxiety. The leg is broken, so there is pain. Yes, because of the body. Beingness is the result of the body, so there is pain. But there is nothing wrong. This body is at the bequest of the food essence. In that essence is beingness, and you are neither. You are the witness of it. The one who considers oneself to be born as a body will not like this knowledge. But the one who says, I am not the body, will like it. Prior to beingness, there was no night and day. Life means the experience of days, varying from 100 years to hours. Once you are established in knowledge, what is there to do? Whatever you do, you'll be better off. There would be no fear. Fear from whom? When we say birth, it means the birth of time, not your birth. Time means days. People identify themselves with days, hence the fear of death. Otherwise, they are just days. A day is over, so over. Even if doership remains, it doesn't matter. You be the witness. You are not in beingness. Things happen, you don't do anything. Because of beingness, there is suffering, but you are the witness of whatever happens. Your questions are from the ignorance due to the body concept, while my replies are from the standpoint of whatever you really are. So the questions and answers normally don't tally. With the experience of day and night began the experience of pleasure and pain. With beingness began this needy nature. Prior to beingness, it was not there. People who have no self-knowledge, what do they usually say? Just as you keep a grain on your palm and see it clearly, knowledge must be that clear. You experience the waking and sleep states because of the Brahma aperture, Brahmaranda, in the head. What is it that you see? Sense organs are in different parts of the body, but the experiences are in the aperture. These are so many descriptions of it, but ultimately it is very tiny. I am from that village where there is no day or night. Thousands of suns look very, very faint. You consider birth as your birth, but it is just an appearance and experience of beingness and nothing more. Your concepts have become your bondage. I do not blame anyone because beingness is not in one's control. Coming here, then, is not in your control. You are automatically drawn. One is already liberated. The bondage lies in me and mine. These are obstacles that don't allow you to get to the truth. People who have many relatives are far more worried about them, relatives, than about themselves. Such are their obstacles. Even after that, they get this knowledge. They are engrossed in family, life, and sex. There is no time for anything else. The liberation is already there, but our concepts are our bondage. This life is predetermined for a certain number of days, and then it is over. The I Am is God. 2nd January, 1980. What is vital breath? Vital breath is movement, pulsations of the knowledge I am that witnesses all activities. Vital breath also means mind. Vital breath and mind are one. Consciousness contains mind. Are consciousness and mind independent? It is a movement in consciousness. Consciousness witnesses all activities and movement, including the mind. All appear simultaneously: consciousness, vital breath, and food essence. There is energy in water as well as in the body, and heat too. Temperature gone, vital breath gone. Where is the border between consciousness and belief? Is a belief a way to consciousness? In order to live, what do? You know I am is love. It is because of love to live you eat. Your beingness itself is love. Your knowledge that you are is the faith. Because of it you work. If it is as simple as that, then there are no more questions. Because of your body concept, all problems arise. Take yourself to be the knowledge only. After some time, the body concept, comes back, so every time I must remind myself that I am. Strange. Have you to repeat it that you are a woman? No. Reality needs no repetition. Just know it. If you do not take the body into consideration, can you say you are a woman? No. What growth in knowledge has there been in the last 5 years or since you came here last? I now don't think much about what I am doing. Things just happen. What is the role of guidance in spiritual matters? The use of guidance is to know the news and after death. Guidance is required as long as the body is there. When the body is no more, how will you be? Guidance is power. Yes, it is power. Can you work with it? That power is working, only you don't understand. The expenditure of yourself in the world is because of that. You are not aware. In order to live, you eat. If you don't eat, the body falls. In that case, what happens? Find out now. Do you also fall? In case you don't eat, you can't last. Disorder in body means disorder in food. What is that dies? All prayers are to please God. With His grace, she, Mother Teresa, can work. What is God? God is as per her concept. She believed in God, but when I sit here, I don't know what I feel. Every person has a different feeling. What she feels, you don't feel. All the saints and sages, each one's life is different. Is the concept of God the same as pure consciousness? One gets experience as per one's tendencies, beliefs, and concepts. Pure consciousness is without body. Note, Maharaj equates it to God, and that has no body. It is the knowledge I am because of which you come to know that you are. It is love. You consider it as self-love and meditate on it, but don't mix it up with the body. It is not the body. That knowledge is pure knowledge, consciousness or God, because if you do so, then there will be trouble. The knowledge I am is God. You have not to forget that you and God are not separate. Once you meditate more, it will become clear that you will get everything. Mother Teresa is successful because she has faith that God is within her. Then she works. Without the grace of the self, there is no success. Because of faith in yourself, you get it. You may worship God, but don't consider God as separate. The knowledge I am is within you, and with that conviction you worship. One who meditates on the knowledge I am, everything in the realm of consciousness becomes clear to him. He lives without telling it. Hence, from this place, you carry the conviction about yourself that you know the knowledge I am is God. There can be no other gain. There are those who, without knowing themselves, start preaching. My question is about the diminishing of knowledge. Day by day, your conviction that the knowledge I am is God must grow. Don't care about the body. By constant meditation, when God is pleased, you will have complete knowledge in the realm of consciousness. Out of it, if necessary, tell others only a part of it. This self-knowledge can be conveyed in a few words, but they, others, want more and more of it. Without your beingness, what is important? God may be great, but without beingness, who will say so? So when I expound knowledge, I tell you about the self, Atman, and its history. You may go anywhere, but don't forget the knowledge I am itself is God. You come here because of the conviction that Maharaj is God. Without self-knowledge, all activities are meaningless. Even after attaining self-knowledge, all activities are meaningless. Self-knowledge, after attaining it, becomes useless. Before you know yourself, you suffer. With self-knowledge, that comes to an end. Jhana is beyond attributes, timeless. Once you know yourself, everything is meaningless, including experiences, for they are meaningless illusion. The knower of them is beyond space and time. Tonight, questions will originate in sleep. What originates in sleep? Can it be real? Everything appears and vanishes, including thousands of suns in the Parabrahman. You had self-knowledge prior to birth, but the world and its experience made you forget. Like a king dreams that he is a beggar, you have forgotten yourself. The Self-Annihilator's Cry, Har Har Mahadev, 3rd January 1980. All activity is meaningless, so should we just sit? Once you realize that you are not an individual, do everything. Everything is your work. Within the range of the 5 elements, everything is you. Till then, unless and until you realize, carry on your work. But don't think you are the body. The body cannot enjoy ice cream, no food value. Who eats? Plants here consume water. The flame in this lighter, as I light it, eats gas, absorbs air. Similarly, things get done. Eating is done by the 5 elements. When you eat food, after you swallow it down the throat, who digests it? Beingness comes out of the 5 elements. Who eats then? Who dies? Who lives? I see. Attention also is in beingness. It too will dissolve. When you repent about actions, only then you change. Otherwise not. The great sinner Valmiki repented, and he meditated thereafter. Then whatever he wrote became the truth. Valmiki wrote the Ramayana. So the sattva quality must prevail. Yes, in meditation the sattva is prominent. Worship of God. Attraction towards spiritual practices follow. Habits change with time, and one should understand individual and universal life. This is possible only when one knows oneself. Note: since 1921, Maharaj is in Bombay, a period of almost 60 years. Prior to 1921, he was in a village when then there were only a few houses. Everyone knew everyone, Now the village has changed. In the process of devotion and association with sattva, you start thinking of yourself. You shed many things, dropping associations. These are remunerations. This you understand with meditation. The developing village where I lived has changed. The trees went missing. There was a change of sea. Now nobody recognizes me. So similarly, in the process of satsang or meditation, developments occur. You start changing. You are talking to me through the body sense, but I don't accept you as that which could be defined by words. As a matter of fact, you have no form, identity, or color. You yourself are creating your trap by your word concepts. Once you realize the cause of beingness, birth, you are liberated. From what point do you recognize yourself? I am. Since then? Since my parents told me. So long as you depend on hearsay, you will not be liberated. What is the cause of birth? Parents told you a lot, but did they tell you the secret of your birth? Because you are, the Lord is, and because of the Lord Ishwara is, you are. The you are is proof that parents were there. Sanatana Dharma, from time immemorial the parents have been there. You have been there. This beingness is proof of eternity. The Sanatana Dharma, the infinity. When do you call me a jnani, or why do you use the word jnani? Because our questions are out of ignorance. Have you recognized ignorance? Yes. Then how could there be fear, anxiety, or worry for you? It's simple. First is the ajnani, ignorant, stage, when you believe I am not knowledge or I am not beingness. Next, the mumukshu, inclined to learn, stage, where there is only an inclination to learn. Then you come across the guru. You become a sadhak, earnest seeker, one who earnestly seeks. The sadhak sticks like a leech to the profound talks of the guru, the borderline stage. So long as the body identification is there, one is a mumukshu and not completely spiritual yet. Finally, one becomes a siddha, the liberated one, and gets liberated. Politics is the last resort of a scoundrel. The spiritual one has no resort. Lastly, dispose of Harihar, the highest of the gods of the Hindus, is dismissed, disposed of. The self-annihilator's cry of Har Har Mahadev means kill and get killed. So in the end, Har Har Mahadev goes too.